to a fascinating story. It's the most read story on the BBC website through the course of today because a major investigation has revealed that a sperm donor who unknowingly harboured a genetic mutation which dramatically raises the risk of cancer has fathered at least 197 children across Europe. At least 10 children already have cancer and some have died. Denmark's European Sperm Bank, which sold the sperm, said families affected had their deepest sympathy. The sperm came from an anonymous man who was paid to donate as a student starting in 2005 and was used for 17 years until the problem was detected. Well, the investigation involved 14 public service broadcasters, including the BBC, as part of the European Broadcasting Union's investigative journalism network. So let's speak to the head of that, Belén López Garrido, who runs that unit. And great to have you on the programme. This is quite an extraordinary story, so tell us more about what you found out.
Well, what we found out was basically that, as you mentioned, over 17 years, sperm from one donor was made available through 67 clinics, in 14 countries. And what this resulted in, by our account, and we think this is an underestimate, is that at least 197 children have been born from this one donor. Now, unknown to this donor, unknown to the sperm bank until 2023, there was hidden in a very small percentage of his sperm cells, there was a gene mutation, a mutation of the gene TP53. And basically what this mutation does is it cancels your natural defenses against cells becoming cancerous or tumors growing. So obviously a very high risk for these children if they've inherited this mutation, because it is not present in every single sperm cell. So a very high risk for them of cancer.
The obvious question is how this happened, because presumably even back in 2005 there must have been screening, wasn't there? And you said in that answer that the numbers so far are probably an underestimation. So what do you think the numbers could get up to?
Well, I can't speculate on the number. What we know is what we have said, that it is at least 197. However, we do know that the sperm was shipped to some countries where we haven't had the information from the authorities as to the number of children born through fertility treatment in those clinics in those countries. That's how we know it is an underestimate. Now, how could this happen? Again, it is, we have to be careful as well on not blaming in any case the donor who couldn't know this, but also the test. I mean, this mutation is hidden in a very small percentage, as I said, up to 20% of the sperm cells in his body. He is not himself sick. It is not present a mutation in the rest of his body. So really very difficult to detect. And even though there were medical tests and he passed all of these medical tests, you cannot do a full genetic sequencing for every sperm donor, or the costs would simply make it impossible for people to actually use these techniques.
I've only got about 30 seconds, so briefly, if you could tell me then about the investigations to try to track down the exact details here of perhaps other children, other people affected.
Well, all the credit goes to our Danish colleagues at DR, the public broadcaster in Denmark. They were the ones who initiated this. We are still looking for them. We're filing freedom of information requests and trying to talk to as many public health authorities as we can. Doctors have been helping, especially the Genturis network, and we're really trying to alert, because some of these children still have not been.
Belén, great to talk to you. It is a fascinating investigation. Thank you so much for joining us on the programme. I mentioned it was the most read item on the website. Do head there. More details available on the website for you. I'm back in a moment.